Hello and welcome to Salford Now. I'm Rory Cowan.
And I'm Inez Baruch.
Plans have been revealed to build 500 new homes and riverfront apartments on the old Castle Irwell student village in Salford.
Land will also be set aside for the construction of a new primary school and playing fields. Our reporter Cameron Waters is joining us in the studio now.
So Cameron, what are the plans for the derelict student village?
Well, developers have agreed to pay £769,000 towards local infrastructure and road improvements. Now, this will turn Castle Irwell into a new 500-home estate, and it will also feature primary school, like you said, sport facilities and local shops. Now, currently the site is owned by the University of Salford, who have proposed the plans, and the development is actually set to bring in family homes and also apartments. They're aiming to bring in like a local community of families, obviously, and also young city centre professionals. Now, the young city centre professionals are looking for somewhere more suburban to live, such as what this site proposes. Now, Salford University will remain as the landowners, but they'll pass the project over to a development partner.
What is the reaction to the plan? Now,
the initial plans show no affordable housing, which is actually quite negative for the people of Salford as a working class background. Derek Antrobus, a local councillor, has said that he finds the scheme outrageous to go forward and that the plan shouldn't be approved.
And why is it not affordable?
It's not affordable because Salford City Council actually valued the site as a low value area, meaning that there's no obligation for any sort of affordable housing to be made, I guess, because the site itself doesn't actually generate any funding towards anything.
Thank you, Cameron.
Thank you. The Trussell Trust has warned that the move to universal credit will cause a massive increase in food bank use.
The charity has said that the transition will leave millions needing help. Drivers in Manchester are facing
Okay, so how will the change of universal credit affect the people requiring your services here at the food bank?
Well, we expect to see a dramatic increase because other Trussell Trust food banks, like we're part of the Trussell Trust network, where universal credit has been rolled out, they've seen a 52% increase. And so our concern, obviously, we're going to be very, very busy and struggling with resources, obviously, particularly food and finance. So yes, we are concerned.
Sure. So who will the change affect the most here at the food bank?
Well, anyone that's going to be put on universal credit. So, eventually, everyone who gets any of the benefits that universal credit includes will roll over to universal credit. So, it's going to affect millions of people in the country. So, many thousands in the Salford area.
Amazing. So, what concerns do you have personally about the change?
Concerns I have is for the people involved. Having to struggle. Not just for days, but some for many weeks or even months on very little or almost nothing. So my concern is for the individuals and families that are going to be struggling in the local area.
So what type of people? What people use the food bank the most?
Well, we get quite a wide variety of people from the community because the only criteria to use the food bank is people need to be in a crisis situation. We work on a voucher system, working with frontline care professionals, so we're relying on those to identify people in crisis. Inevitably, there's a lot of people on benefits or struggling on benefits, but we're seeing more people on low income or 0-hour contracts, and although it's the exception rather than the rule, we are seeing more professional people as well.
It's unexpected. So have any of your clients already expressed concerns over the change to you? Would you get frontline contact with?
Yeah. So I'm in regular contact with people using the service, and there is a wide concern for the changes that are going to be happening. Particularly around housing benefit and that's going to be given to them directly, and how they're going to actually be able to manage their money as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Could you state your name?
Yep, it's Mark Whittington.
And what's your role here?
I'm the manager.
Manager.
Yeah.
Excellent.
As the next phase of the city's road improvements began today.
2 of the 3 lanes in Chester Road are closed whilst work is being done as part of a series of improvements to Manchester City Road network that could last as long as 12 months. Transport from Greater Manchester says that £15 million work will improve capacity for traffic by 20%. One local taxi driver told us that the traffic was making it hard for him to do his job.
So Jack, what's the latest?
Well, the roadworks on the Mancunian Way have, as you say, reduced the number of lanes. It's normally 3 lanes, which has been reduced down to 1. They've closed 2 lanes for the works, and that is causing severe delays from the top of the M602 in Salford all the way into the city centre. It's been said on social media that it's taken drivers almost 45 minutes just to get from Salford to Chester Road at the other end of the Mancunian Way. I was there myself today, mid-afternoon, when you'd expect everyone in work, the road to be quieter. You'd have thought it was rush hour. There were drivers giving up, people sounding the horns, people doing U-turns in the middle of the road just to go different ways. There was even one emergency ambulance that couldn't get through. HGVs had to mount the pavement, causing hazard to pedestrians to allow the ambulance to get through.
And what work is being done?
Well, as you say, it's all part of a £15 million project to improve some of the busiest junctions in the city at the top of the Mancunian Way, the A57. And Highways England said it's going to take around 12 months to complete. However, the delays could carry on, and this is not going to open until all the work's complete. So if there are any delays, these aren't going away anytime soon.
Has the council commented or?
Transport for Greater Manchester have advised motorists to avoid the area if possible and actually opt for public transport instead or park and ride services.
Thank you, Jack.
A 45-year-old man is on trial today for the murder of Philip Edge in Eccles.
Vincent O'Keefe is said to have killed Mr Edge in March of this year. Greater Manchester Police were called to the property on Florence Street after a body had been found.
Police said there is no suspicious circumstances surrounding the death of a man whose body was discovered in the River Irwell at the weekend.
Emergency services were called out to Cromwell Bridge in Higher Broughton on Sunday lunchtime after receiving reports of a body of a man in the water. The man is believed to be in his 60s.
Police are asking for the public's help to find a man who's been gone missing from hospital.
Charles Campbell, who is 61, was last seen leaving Salford Royal Hospital around 10 a.m. this morning. Officers say he has a strong Irish accent and was wearing a black coat along with distinctive orange pyjamas. Anyone who has seen Charles is being asked to contact Greater Manchester Police.
Residents of an apartment building at Media City have been left furious after being forced to replace cabling. Matthew Taylor reports.
246 leaseholders of the MV apartment building at Media City have been left furious after being forced to pay for replacement cladding. The residents of the £35 million development are urging the project's developer, Countryside Properties, to take on the cost, after contractors Carillion were unable to pay as they went into liquidation in January. The MV buildings pictured just behind me here were given a fire safety order by the Greater Manchester Fire and Rescue Service in September 2017, following inspections after the Grenfell fire disaster. Residents understand the need for the replacement after the disaster which occurred at Grenfell Tower, but don't understand why they should be left to pay for it. One resident said, "It's infuriating that the government are basically washing their hands of the problem and allowing us all to live in danger and in fear of us becoming Grenfell Mark II. The situation remains unresolved, with neither the developer nor the contractor willing to pay for the cladding." Matt Taylor, reporting for Salford Now.
I don't have... Can you just say...
Now, the Premier League season might only be 8 games old, but for many teams up and down the country, eyes are already turning to the FA Cup. Salford City have been in the draw for the FA Cup 4th qualifying round. With news on that and the rest of the sport, here's Luke.
Salford City fans will be hopeful that the National League High Flyers can avoid a potential giant killing after being handed an away tie against Evil Stick Premier Division side Marine in the FA Cup 4th qualifying round. The Ammies will be hoping to reach the first round of the competition for the first time since that miraculous cup run in the 2015-16 season that saw them see off league side Notts County. Despite there being 2 leagues separating the sides, City manager Graham Alexander told TalkSport 2 earlier this afternoon that he expects the match to be a tough one and that he will call on some of his players' past experiences of what Marine are about. In rugby league news, Swinton Lions will have a home advantage in the promotion playoff final after winning the coin toss yesterday afternoon. The Lions will welcome Workington Town to Moor Lane this Sunday in an attempt to avoid relegation to League One. After ending the season in 11th place, Stuart Littler's side have one last chance to secure their championship status for a third consecutive season. And with the cricket season over for this year, Clifton Cricket Club are already looking ahead to next season after securing the re-signing of First 11 captain Gareth Cross. Cross has re-signed as the club's professional player for the 2019 and 2020 campaigns after impressing over the last 2 seasons with both bat and ball. As professional and captain, he has led the club to the ECB 2020 Nationals Finals Day, as well as to the LCB Knockout Final. That's all for sport this afternoon. Back to you, Ines.
Thank you, Luke. Now let's take a look at the weather.
It's going to be cloudy and breezy at times tonight, but it's going to be dry in most places. Otherwise, it's going to be mild with some winds from the southwest. Tomorrow will start off fairly cloudy and windy, but it's likely that it could and will begin to thin through the day, bringing in brighter skies from the afternoon. Goodbye.